Okay, everybody, so today I want to shift gears here, talk a little baseball, because Mike Trout has been ruled out for the remainder of the 2024 season. He suffered another torn meniscus in his surgically repaired left knee, and he will be out for the season. You might remember the initial injury was kind of a freak injury. He was just walking in the dugout, and all of a sudden he felt this intense knee pain, which led to a surgery. Mike Trout's been one of the best baseball players in the game for the past decade plus, going back to that spectacular Rookie of the Year season he had in 2012. I remember when Mike Trout hit the scene, that WAR statistic and analytics and all that sabermetric stuff was starting to take over, and the big thing about Mike Trout was his WAR, because he could run, he could steal bases, hit for power. He was a great fielder, hit for high average. But Trout, going back to the 2017 season, has had injury issues. He's missed significant parts of the 2017, 2021, 2022, 23, and of course this year. He's missed significant parts of the season, and I want to delve into why he's had so many injury issues. I mean, if you go back and look at his injury history, you know, he's had foot injuries, calf injuries, back injuries, foot injuries, hand injuries, and of course the knee injuries this year. But I want to look at things like the back and the calf and the lower body injuries just by taking a look at some of his workouts. Look at how intense he works out. Could the very thing that makes Mike Trout the great player that he is be the very thing that could be shortening his career? I mean, you're telling me this kind of intense training, wear and tear on your body isn't going to start to take its toll? He's 32 years old. You think about something like a knee injury, a guy that does these kind of squats, these kind of intense exercise. Now, I remember when I was a kid back in the 80s, weight training in baseball was taboo. You had a few guys, guys like Brian Downing and a guy like Lance Parrish, who were a big workout weight training guys. And I remember Lance Parrish used to clash with manager Sparky Anderson over his intense weight training. Sparky was one of those guys who thought that weight training would negatively impact your flexibility, it would screw up your swing, which was kind of a common thinking at that time amongst baseball people. But eventually, in the late 80s, weight training took over into the mid 90s and early 2000s, what they called the steroid era, and that's when a lot of these types of injuries like oblique strains and different things were popping up. Injuries that prior to that had been unheard of, and then suddenly during this intense weight training period of baseball, injuries like that started popping up. I even remember when Sammy Sosa strained his back when he sneezed one time, and I imagine that might have had something to do with all the muscle he was carrying around on his frame. But nowadays, of course, every team has a strength trainer. They've got workout rooms in the stadiums, going to the low levels of the minor leagues. It's commonplace now. But, I can't help but think that maybe Mike Trout, he's always been a big guy. He's always carried around a lot of weight. That maybe, this intense training regimen, the thing that makes him great, could be shortening his career. Just something that I was thinking about. Wanted to share my thoughts on it. It's really unfortunate because one of the game's greats, we're really being deprived of seeing a great player. But let me know what you think, baseball fans out there. Do you agree with me that maybe the intense training, the thing that makes him great, could be shortening his career? Who knows? I just wanted to touch on this. And am I the only one out there that thinks Mike Trout kind of looks like a super jacked version of Jesse Pinkman? Does anyone else see the resemblance, or am I crazy? Just wanted to touch on this. I hope you dug the video, and we'll see you next time. Who's here?